And sixth graders, you are watching Monday, December 1st. Happy December screencast for iMovie. And in this short session, we're going to teach you how to add additional clips to your sequence and even how to split a clip and then even how to add a still. All right, so let's cut right to the chase. Hopefully you've opened up your project. If you haven't, then please do so. Just click iMovie in your dock and you can pause this screencast as needed in order to participate with these edits today. But what we'd like to do is focus on the area where we have two clips, hands up again, and hat back on. And what I'd like you to do is select, just get your playhead down in that area in the timeline by deselecting clips. And we're just kind of scrubbing through those two clips where he takes his hat off and puts his hand up to shield himself from the sun and then puts his hat back on. Okay, we can make that a much better transition. So when you play those two clips, he shields his eyes from the sun, and then it's kind of jumped. That's called a jump cut. You'll learn more about that in high school if you take my class. But anyhow, the object of the game here, I thought we could find a still image of the sun burning in the sky and insert that between those two and make for a little bit better transition and help add interest to our movie. So what we're going to do is just maybe get on Chrome real quick. And we want to try to find an image that is 640 by 480 pixels. And so what we're going to do is search differently. We're going to type in sun in sky 640 by 480 and see what we come up with when we do our image search. The images that are 640 by 480 will work a lot better in iMovie. So it'd be nice if I could find one in a desert kind of environment that look kind of yellow like that. Definitely not over the water like this one. But I'm trying to limit it to 640 by 480. This one, this kind of blue one, oh, it's too big. This would work. This one from wallshark.com if it's not royalty free here. Let's just click on it and see what happens. That one would work. It's not yellow and stuff, but just to illustrate how to do this, we'd like to use this image. So I'm going to drag it out to my desktop quick, and then I can get out of Chrome. And what I want to do is now take it from the desktop and simply drag it into one of these cubbies. And what happens is it imports as a 5-second clip, as you'll see in the time code, and it applies what's called the Ken Burns effect. When you play it back, it adds a little animation to it. So that's fine. When we get into doing some other things, we're going to teach you how to eliminate that Ken Burns effect, but that might be okay. The only thing I'd like to do is change the time on it though. So why don't we crop out a second on each side. So I'm going to make this, instead of a 5-second clip, really a 3-second clip. So all I'm doing is marking 4 seconds and 1 second, and we'll crop that out with Command K. And then when we play our clip back, looks like this. And what we'd like to do is to put this in between, hands up again and hat back on. And so what you do is you take your clip from your cubby and you drag it and you drop it in between those two, and they'll slide over. And here's another trick I can teach you. If you click the first one, hands up again, you know, the first of the three that I kind of want to play back, and you hold shift and click on hat back on, you can play back just those three clips. So you can really get a good idea how your edit looks. So takes his hat off, shields his eyes, and then you have sun flare, and then we go back to this shot. Again, not perfect because of the sun looking blue like that. It'd be nice if we had a yellow theme to it, but for now, I mean, that looks pretty good. Okay. The next thing we wanted to do was to go down to the part where he has the fly landing on his nose. And right after that, we'd like to put the clip of him looking up at the birds. Okay. So after fly on nose, we're going to put the clip of looking up at birds. Okay. Now that clip is fine the way it is, looking at birds. So we're not going to mark any ins or outs. We're going to use the entire clip and put this thing right down here after fly on nose. Okay, but what would be nice, and this is a little different style of edit, this is an edit that you do after you sequence it. So we're not really marking ins and outs at this point. What we're doing is dragging through this, and about halfway through it'd be really nice if we could put in the picture of the clip of the vultures. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this clip that I've already sequenced, the one looking at birds, and put our playhead about halfway. You know, you don't have to worry about time code, just get it about halfway. And we're going to do what they call split this clip. into two separate clips so that in between them we could put the vultures. So with my playhead at the middle point, which is about that far, we'd like to go to edit and choose split video clip at playhead. And then when you do that, that clip now becomes two separate clips. I had pretty good aim. I was almost right in the middle, 411 and 409. Notice how it split those into two. Your mileage may vary. But now what we'd like to do is to take the vultures clip and just kind of play that one back, because that one's going to go in between. It's probably a little too long. We don't need 8 seconds of vultures. So I'm probably going to crop this down to, I don't know, maybe about 3 seconds worth. So let's mark an out point at 7 seconds and an in point at, oh, let's say about, I don't know, 3 seconds. And when we Command K that, we end up with a 4-second clip. That's fine. And we're going to drag it from our cubby and drop it down in between Looking at Birds and Looking at Birds 1, the two that we had, the one that we had made into 2. And then like we did before, if you click on Looking at Birds and then shift click Looking at Birds 1, you'll select those 3 and you can see how your edit looks when you play it back. And so there's the edit. And we go back to the top. And then it cuts to the rollover and screen part. So we'd want to save our work. We made a couple of nice edits there. We learned how to bring in an image into iMovie. And, you know, the next part of this, you know, I'm looking at the time here, trying not to make too long of a screencast. But, you know, we don't want to ever add our audio until we get all of our video done. And most video that you take is going to have audio already attached to it, but this is a little different. But I don't want to add my audio until I get my titles done, and we haven't done titles yet. And so therefore, this might be a good place to stop for a day. We'll save our work, and that should be enough for a for a Monday. So hopefully you've had a little bit of success here. Tomorrow we will get into how to add titles, and then the really fun part, adding the audio. And by midweek, we should be ready to practice editing and maybe shoot our own stuff. So, all right, 6th graders, good job.